The American war effort in the American Revolution didn't get off to a very good start. The initial attack was on Quebec, which was British controlled. The Americans had suffered a bout of smallpox in the area, but because they were worried about desertions and enlistments coming up, they decided to attack anyways. It was a terrible choice. The Americans lost a large number of people. The commander, Montgomery, was killed very early on. Benedict Arnold, who had not yet become a traitor, was wounded severely. Many men were killed or captured in that. Further south, New York City was about to be the scene of a new issue. Quebec was in July of 1775. A year later, Washington had tried to fortify New York City from the British. However, the British had landed in Staten Island with a huge land force, hoping to have a decisive victory that would end the war. By August of 1776, though, they had decided to attempt to take the city. Washington, having never really commanded any sort of a land, city-based defense, didn't really know what he was doing. A week-long campaign on Long Island led to just disastrous results. After a week of giving ground, the Americans had a miraculous escape across the Hudson River, which proved to be this Battle of Long Island was just a humiliating defeat for Washington. Many were captured, and it was just the luck of the weather that allowed them to get away. The other issue was that it proved the American soldiers were pretty poorly trained, they were undisciplined, and they really had a difficult time standing up to the British soldiers. So throughout the next few years, Washington is constantly trying to improve the soldiering. What saved the Americans was actually the hesitation of the British general. He rested his troops instead of continuing on to chase the Americans across the New Jersey and then later across the Delaware River into Pennsylvania. So the Americans were able to get away. New York City became the headquarters for the Royal Navy as well as the British Army, and there was a large number of Tory loyalists there that were supportive of the British. So by the end of this, the American Army was really about 3,000 soldiers, poorly trained and ill-equipped. Thomas Paine's American Crisis came out about this point and really led to a rally of morale to the point where the Continental Congress was able to start offering more assistance, including offering soldiers cash awards for signing up, land, clothing, blankets, and other supplies. And meanwhile, the British, thinking the war was almost over, basically bunkered down for the winter in New York City while the Americans tried to rally their troops.